Hey everyone, Chris here from Midwest Coaster Fans, bringing you breaking news coming out of Grand Island, New York, home of the defunct abandoned amusement park Fantasy Island. Here's the article coming from the local news. Chicago investor negotiating to reopen Fantasy Island. The shuttered Fantasy Island amusement park may soon find new life thanks to the same Chicago investor who recently revived an Indiana amusement park. This comes from BusinessFirstBizJournals.com. James Fink, published on May 11, 2021. And here is the article here. The shuttered Fantasy Island amusement park may find soon a new life thanks to the same Chicago investor, Eugene Staples, who revived an Indiana amusement park. And then it goes on. Chicago investor Gene Staples is negotiating with Store Capital Real Estate Investment Trust Company of Scottsdale, Arizona, for a long-term lease for the closed amusement park at 2400 Grand Island Boulevard in Grand Island, New York. So, sounds like it is going to happen, and sources close to this have said, and this is coming from another news article that I was able to find. Unfortunately, there's not much information on there besides that they are close to a deal this week, and that is great news for this defunct park that is in ruins right now, because as many of you guys know, last year Apex Parks went bankrupt, and then were able to sell Indiana Beach, and then unfortunately weren't able to find an investor for Fantasy Island. And a lot of people attribute that to Store Capital and the negotiations on a lease for that. You could see that a lot of the assets were sold off that Apex owned, so a lot of the old rides were actually sold off to other parks. So the only remaining roller coaster is Silver Comet, a CCI roller coaster that actually opened up at the park in 1999. Other than that, the Ferris wheel remains. There's remnants of the water park, remnants of other buildings. You could easily find a train to replace because it looks like the tracks are still intact. And it looks like you could find antique autos to place into the spot where the antique auto ride we're at. And then you have remnants of like a miniature golf course. Old parts where you could probably put flat rides into that are already set up for that. So that part in general wouldn't take much maintenance or much TLC to take part of. And from what I understand from friends that told me, there's a place called Western Town, which you can see in this footage that was actually provided to us, and we were able to use it from Western New York Coasters, and the link is going to be in the description. But in this area, supposedly they used to put on really good shows back in the day. Now Apex kind of didn't put on the same type of shows, but this is an actual theme park. Now it's a small theme park, doesn't have a lot of money, but the great news is it's not gone forever. So if this deal happens, as you can see, there's a lot of empty parcels here. So it's probably not going to reopen this year. It's almost impossible to open up an amusement park that close to the season. But the great news is that gives Staples a year to put in place, and they're going to need to clean off a lot of the graffiti off the water slides, unfortunately, and a lot of the other areas. But this park does have also a wave pool, and like I said, remnants of water slides that are still there. And there's a lot of space that they can put rides into place on. And with it being located near a tourist spot, if you run the right ads, you get the right people in there, you get the right staffing in there, and the right choices, you would have a great park. Now, like I said, from these drone photos and video provided to us by Western New York Coasters, you could definitely see that this park has been left abandoned for over a year, and it looks like it's longer than that, but it's not. So I could see them repaving a lot of it, replacing a lot of the roofs as soon as that deal happens, and then adding in flat rides, which wouldn't be hard to find. And some of the roofs look like they're fine, but other roofs don't look like they're fine. And I think repaving a lot of the empty areas to give it a fresh new look, and whatever else they plan on doing with this. But the great news is that there is still hope for this park that's located in New York. And I know I have a lot of friends that were asking me about this, and to follow details on this, I actually had a friend of mine share this link with me on the news article, and I was really surprised to actually see it. As many of you know, Gene Staples bought Indiana Beach last year, and then also bought Clementon Park in New Jersey for, I think it was like $2.5 million earlier this year. And then Fantasy Island will be their third purchase. So that's a lot of purchases in a year, and a lot of amusement parks saved. But that concludes this article, and also this video. Thank you again for joining me, Midwest Coaster fans. Please be sure to subscribe and hit that like button for future videos and news that'll drop down for Midwest Coaster fans. Until next time, this is Chris signing off. Thanks again for watching.